Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad, and good morning to you. How are you?
George Lopez joins us right now. George, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What lovely to talk to me. Funny lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Chloe Bailey joins us. I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore! I am so excited to be joined by my guest this morning. You know him as the longest-running judge on America's Got Talent, as well as a man embarking on a nationwide comedy tour at the end of the year. You can find out more about that at howiemandel.com/tour dates. He is the one and only Howie Mandel. Howie, thanks so much for taking the time.
Well, my pleasure, buddy.
Well, look,
Thanks for talking.
yeah, we should get right into it. This is a milestone for America's Got Talent. The 20th season is underway, and we're looking for who really is going to be participating in this next season, right?
That's exactly right. So I'm on here hounding people to show up to audition. And this is the 20th season. There's $1 million at stake. It's the biggest talent show in the world. You can change your life. Let us judge you. What else? You can submit. You can, if you can't go to the live auditions, then you can submit a video for consideration at agtauditions.com. Or even if you're not talented, but you know of somebody else that is talented, you could submit them. And then you're kind of like a talent scout, and you're changing somebody's life forever.
Yeah, and again, that's agtauditions.com. That's where you can do that. And again, it's acts of any age, any talent, which kind of makes it, I feel like, does that make it hard to judge when it's such a wide spectrum of, like, you can literally see any act walk through the door?
Well, we're not judging apples and oranges, If something really moves you, or if something's unique, or if something's, you look at the winner last year, Richard Goodall was a janitor for the last, 40 years, and he's always singing, and then nobody was submitting him, and nobody was doing anything, and then finally, somebody just recorded him at his school, put it up on TikTok. We saw it, we called him, and now he's a winner. He won $1 million. He's 60 years old. So you don't know if you have it, if you know the person, if you're in front of that person, and talents vary from singing to dancing to stunts to just craziness and wackiness, and we have no idea. Let us be the judge, and whatever it is, I'm telling you, it is a life-changing experience. So I'm just out here, shouting to the rafters that if it's not you, it's somebody you know. Send the tape, show up, be part of season 20.
agtauditions.com is how you can be a part of this historic season that's kicking off in the summer of 2025 on NBC, so make sure you register to do that. So again, you're saying something's just got to move you. It can be a magic act, it can be a song, it can be a dance performance, quick change. You just got to feel emotionally connected to it in some way. That's your barometer for these things.
A couple of years ago, there was a guy, I think he came back on last year. He originally went by horse. I can't remember what his next name was, but he was shooting things at his nether region. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
He ended up with 6 episodes of a television show on like Jackass on MTV. So you don't know what it could be. So you could have nerve damage in your nether region and be considered a talent and end up with a series. I'm not telling you to do that, and I'm not telling you to damage yourself. I'm just saying anything goes.
Anything goes on America's Got Talent. That's why. And is that what's kept you around? Because you're the longest tenured judge on the show's history. A decade plus doing this. Is that what kept you going? Is because you really just never know who's going to walk out on that stage?
Well, it is always a surprise, and that's what when people say, "What do you look for?" I look to be surprised. Yes, it isn't a singing show. It's not a dancing show. It's just a human show. People come from all corners of the earth doing things I've never seen before, and that's what keeps me interested. That and a really good paycheck.
Well, the two need to go together. One needs to happen in order for the other one to happen. And again, though, you're going to be getting a good paycheck going on the road. HowieMandel.com is where you can find tickets. Were you itching to get back out there, and are you trying new stuff? Are you preparing for a special? What is going to come of this tour?
I love just going out there, and my favorite thing to do, I love America's Got Talent. I love Deal or No Deal, and I produced Deal or No Deal Island, which comes back in January. I love doing all that. Stand-up is my favorite thing to do. That's where I came from. That's what I continue to do. So anytime I can be out there live in front of an audience doing stand-up makes it fun and fresh for me. So that's just what I do. I'm a comic who has all these other jobs.
It's interesting you bring that up because one of the things that I love that you do is your podcast. I listen to it and watch it a lot on YouTube. I'm a really big fan of it. And what I feel like the podcasts have done is, I'm not saying that they've completely taken the place of what Johnny or Dave did back with the late night shows, but I feel like the podcasts are now where the comics are breaking. Whereas before, if Johnny gave you the okay sign, your career was made. Now if you go on Howie or you go on Rogan or Theo Vaughn, this is where people are finding the next great comedians. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, and not only comedians, but everything. I love doing the podcast because, again, I'm not working for somebody. Anything can happen. I sit with my daughter. It's called Howie Mandel Does Stuff, wherever you get your podcast, mostly on YouTube. And every Tuesday we have a new one. I get to talk to amazing people. We get to do crazy things. There is no plan. There is no time limit. We don't have to we don't have to end. It's not like a 1-hour show. It could be 35 minutes. It could be 40 minutes. It could be an hour and a half. As long as we're having fun, we have fun. We interact with our audience. It's just that it didn't exist then. Talk shows are very, of the 50s and 40s is when they started in 1950s. And this is just a place where if you feel like you want to interact with somebody and have a good time, you could do it. So I do Howie Mandel Does Stuff with my daughter, Jacqueline Schultz, and then I also do one with Harlan Williams, who's hysterical, called When a Stranger Calls.
And you're actually
started. Check that out.
When a Stranger Calls, yeah, make sure everyone. And Harlan's are hilarious guys, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out. And what's cool about what your show does, because again, coming from where you would have these great acts on Johnny or on Jay or Dave or what have you, when you would have your appearances, I feel like, and I don't know if you would agree with this or not, but this is what I felt like talking to my friends who are also late night guys, is when the Dana White thing happened on your podcast, that to me felt like the Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler moment on Letterman back in the day. Just a moment that everybody was talking about, and they're like, wait, what happened there? And that's why I feel like it's such a great, it reminds me of the great times of late night, these podcasts.
Well, here's what's great. Those moments which are not planned and we don't know that happens. Even to last week, I had what's his name from Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan on. And I thought I'd be funny because I thought that Billy Corgan kind of looks like Bill Burr. So
yes.
I put up the wrong picture, a Bill Burr picture that looked like Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Right. He goes, you know what? I'm going to tell you a story I've never told a friend. I've never told anybody before. And then he told you, I'm not going to. It made a lot of press.
Yeah. No, definitely people should check it out.
Billy Corgan and Bill Burr is, I don't know. He says he's not kidding, and it's not. So these moments would never happen on the Johnny Carson show because, there's pre-interviews, and we would know it, or he would probably decide not to say it. I don't know if he's thrilled he said it. I don't know how Bill Burr reacted to it. Just like I didn't know how Dana White was going to react to me. These are kind of like unrehearsed, real, just, times to sit down, do things, say things, and things happen, not like they ever did on traditional television.
Well, make sure you check out Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel does stuff, HowieMandel.com. And of course, if you think you can get it done and have the talent that America should see, AGTauditions.com, or you can be a talent scout and submit somebody else to help live out their dream. Congratulations on all your success, Howie. Season 20 kicking off summer 2025 on NBC. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you, buddy.